the corner of Archer and Loomis in the famous neighborhood Bridgeport. Now, we can't find the building, but back in the day there was a building called Kaiser Hall. And the story of this place was in Kaiser Hall, the devil came to Bridgeport, danced with a girl, got chased up a flight of stairs, jumped out the window, and when his hooves hit the ground, he left indentations in the concrete that ran across Archer Avenue and disappeared. But when he went in first, the story goes, a girl was, dancing in this ballroom in Kaiser Hall. A gentleman asked her to dance, so they started to. When she looked down, from his waist down, it was goat legs. She got scared. People thought he was trying to hurt her or rape her or whatever, and they chased the guy. When he ran up the stairs and out the window, people seen it. He had goat legs. Then same thing. He jumped on the concrete with his hooves, left indentations. So when the devil came to Bridgeport, he came to Kaiser Hall. Unfortunately, we can't find the place, but this is Archer and Loomis.
Okay, here we are on 63rd and State Street going west towards Halsted. We're looking for a street called Wallace. And we are deep in the heart of the ghetto in Englewood. What we're looking for is the Horror Castle of Dr. H.H. Holmes. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Holmes is, he was the first American serial killer. And in his Horror Castle, we are told that he had secret rooms, trapdoors, and he would invent torture devices that were way ahead of his time. He was a very intelligent man. He studied medicine. But what he would do to his victims, he'd torture them and give them acid baths and melt them down to their bones. He'd strip their bones. But his Horror Castle was burnt down and blown up, and supposedly a post office was built on the site, but we're not exactly sure where it's at. We're going to keep looking, and we'll let you know as soon as we get there. This real quick. Ready? Go. Okay, here's the post office that was once the Horror Castle of H.H. Holmes. And from what I've been told is that this old post office here is haunted. There's been cases of people screaming, people hear screaming, they hear voices, chills down their spines, and just an uneasy feeling when people go in here. Let's come around the back, take a look. This was once the Horror Castle. As you can see, the location is pretty ghetto. We're in Englewood here. Right here on your right. This is the side of where the first American serial killer stripped their bones. Right here. Okay, here we are in Beverly, south side suburb of Chicago, and we're looking for the Irish Castle, and I think we found it. It's now a church, but the story goes with this place. Back in, years ago, an Irish gentleman built a mansion here. He's very rich, and I think someone died in his home, and later on they remade it into a church. But the story goes here that inside some of the rooms you can hear a woman crying while she's holding a baby. You also see a man walking around in rooms that he shouldn't be in and things of that nature. But it got called the Irish Castle because the guy who first owned it was Irish. So here we are in Beverly, the Irish Castle. Big, big building. Should I pull down my window? Many cemeteries stand out on the south side. There's Mount Greenwood, Mount Olivet, I think Mount Hope. But the one you're looking at here, this is St. Cashmere. Now the story of St. Cashmere is that, back to me please. The story of St. Cashmere is that sometimes when you're traveling down Pulaski here, you'll see a very thin, frail looking man run right in front of your car and then give you a real mean look. Then he'll know, run into the cemetery and disappear. Now, also, there's another story about St. Cashmere that there are ghosts inside the cemetery if you go in there. We're taking it right here. We're going to be right by Marist High School, and we'll try and take a closer look. Okay, here's a closer look of St. Cashmere. Here's some of the tombstones. Again, one story I've heard is that there's a woman that walks around in here crying, looking for a lost child, I believe. There's Marist High School over there, but no frail man or anything like that snaring at us. But there's been many accounts of this cemetery being haunted this day. Okay, there's St. Mary's Cemetery. The story with this place is there's a grave inside the cemetery that just smells and reeks of roses, yet there will be no roses in sight. The strong odor is just, it's supposed to be captivating, and, you know, it just might bring it to your knees, and who knows, but strong odor of roses at a grave, even though there's no roses around inside here at St. Mary's Cemetery. Okay, here we are at 95th and Keene, and along Keene Avenue here, you're supposed to see some phantom horses. I guess back in the day, horse and carriage tipped over, the horses were killed along with the man who was, you know, riding them, and I guess their spirits still walk around here. Here and there you'll see signs for horse crossing. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. It could be their spirits, they're ghosts of the horses, we're not sure. And just for the record, as we go to place, we're not expecting to see anything. If you go into a supposedly haunted place expecting to see something, you're gonna be, you know, disappointed big time, because, you know, you're never gonna see anything when you expect it. It's gonna happen when you least suspect it, when you don't even care. That's our attitude going into this. We're merely just doing this documentary just to explain things that we've heard and give you a look into of things that, you know, people read. This is what it looks like. We're taking you to the actual places. But here we are in 95th and Keene on suburban Southside Chicago. And up next, the Grimes Sisters. We are here in Burr Ridge. After an hour of searching, we have found the spot where the Grimes sisters' bodies were found. Like I said, we're in Burr Ridge on the corner of Madison and German Church Road. It took us a while to find it, but we're here, we made it. Now the story of the Grimes sisters goes like this. Two sisters, I think one was 13, one was 15, I believe they're from Bridgeport. They took a bus to go see an Elvis movie. That was the last that everybody ever seen of them. I guess they were kidnapped, and when their bodies were found here in this ditch, they were naked and you know, dead, probably strangled, something like that. But a lot goes into this story. From what I've heard and what I've read is that phone calls were made and people seen them on different buses and trains. You know, just people trying to ID them because their mother was frantic trying to look for them. But also there's a case of two murdered boys, and the way they were found is a very similar fashion to the way the Grimes sisters were found. There's also a source out there that says the way, you know, Gacy's friends from back in the day, the way they killed people was the same way that the Grimes sisters were killed. So there's a lot of connections, a lot of history with this. But we're here right now on Madison Street, along the ditch, supposedly where their bodies were found. But over there, there's a lake. I think it's also called Devil's Creek. Let's go in and take a deeper look. Okay, right in front of me here is Verano, but also Devil's Creek. Outside on that street there, that's Madison Street, close to the corner of German Church Road. This is the creek along the ditch where they found the Grimes sisters. Really dark, quiet, and spooky out here, and we're having a good old time because that's what we dig. We dig fear. We love it. But this, ladies and gentlemen, closes the south side. Next up on our documentary, we go downtown.